Welcome to fall, boys and girls. I love this time of year. I love walking outside and feeling the cool weather. I love looking up in the trees to see the leaves changing into some beautiful new colors. And I love getting ready for Halloween. One of my favorite things to do in the fall is to go on a hayride that takes me out to the pumpkin patch where I can pick my own pumpkin off of the vine. Well, when I got there, I was a little disappointed because I wasn't able to do that. But I was able to pick out a pumpkin from the store, so it was okay. Today's lesson is on adjectives. What is an adjective? That's right. An adjective is a word that describes a noun. In this case, I went and bought a pumpkin. A pumpkin is a noun. And so now let's further explore some adjectives that might describe our pumpkin. Let's start by thinking about the adjectives that describe the pumpkin from the outside. This pumpkin is very tiny. Wow, this pumpkin is very huge. Tiny and huge describes the size of a pumpkin. Therefore, both of those words are examples of adjectives. My pumpkin is orange. The ones at the pumpkin patch are green and white. All of these are examples of colors. Colors are examples of adjectives. Can you think of some adjectives that would be used to describe the inside of your pumpkin? When I start thinking of adjectives for the inside of my pumpkin, I start thinking of my 5 senses. Number 1, I'm going to describe what my pumpkin inside looks like. To me, the inside of my pumpkin looks disgusting and gross. Those are both adjectives. Let's see what the pumpkin looks and feels like on the inside. Ew, gross. Next, you can think about how it smells. When you take a sniff inside, some people think it smells like a really good smell. Other people think that it smells stinky, especially if it starts to rot. How does your pumpkin sound? It might have a squishy sound to it. So squishy would be your adjective. The final sense is taste. Now, I wouldn't actually eat the inside of a pumpkin raw, but you might take the seeds out of the pumpkin and roast them in your oven to make some pumpkin seeds. They're delicious. You might also use the inside of your pumpkins to make pumpkin bread or even pumpkin pie.
Wow, Mrs. Taylor really knows a lot about adjectives. I wonder what adjectives I could use to describe myself. Well, I'm orange. That's the color of my pumpkin. I'm wearing pretty pink glasses. Those words are adjectives too. And my crown is sparkly and makes me look really fancy. Those are adjectives. Wow, using adjectives sure is a lot of fun.
Now I need to decide what kind of pumpkin I want to carve. That description would also be an example of an adjective. So what I like to do is I like to get a piece of paper out and I like to jot down some ideas of the different types of faces that I could put on a pumpkin. So Ashley and I have drawn some examples together on a piece of paper. And I want you to see if you can think of the adjective that I was using to describe the face on the pumpkin. What's an adjective that you could use to describe the pumpkin in this picture? In this picture, you might notice that the pumpkin is crying. So what is an adjective that could describe this pumpkin? One example is that we could say it's sad. Sad is an adjective. This jack-o'-lantern is a baby pumpkin. So what are some adjectives that you can think of to describe this pumpkin? We decided that this pumpkin looks cute and adorable. What's an adjective that we can use to describe this jack-o'-lantern? If you said evil and angry, then you thought of the same ones that we did. Take a look at each pumpkin. Can you think of an adjective that you would use to describe the pumpkin? Our family carved these 2 pumpkins one Halloween. How would you describe the pumpkin? How are they feeling? If you describe these pumpkins as happy, then we have the same adjective. One year there was a pumpkin decorating contest at our school. We decided to make Fancy Nancy, which was a storybook character in a book that we were reading. We decided that Fancy Nancy looks fancy. That's an adjective to describe our pumpkin, our storybook character. What does this pumpkin look like? How does it feel? We decided it looks mad and angry because of the fire in its eyes. Can you figure out which word in this sentence is the adjective? I like riding down the bumpy road in our Jeep. Which word is the adjective? If you said the word bumpy, then you are correct. Bumpy is an adjective to tell us more information and to describe what the road is like. Let's look at one more sentence. The wise owl flew around the forest. Which word is the adjective? If you said the word wise was the adjective in this sentence, then you are correct. Wise describes the owl. Your challenge for the day is to create a pumpkin that has a face on it. You can do this a couple of ways. Number one, you could get out a piece of paper and draw it using markers or crayons or colored pencils. Number two, if you're in my class, you'll be getting a copy of this Google slide. You will decorate your own jack-o'-lantern by clicking and dragging each piece over to the pumpkin. You will make sure that you have 2 eyes, a nose, and pick a mouth from the bottom. After you're done creating your jack-o'-lantern, make sure to fill in 3 adjectives that describe the jack-o'-lantern that you made. Number 3, you can complete this Google slide. Move one of the jack-o'-lanterns from the bottom of the slide into the box. You can also insert your own jack-o'-lantern by following the steps on the slide. After you've chosen your jack-o'-lantern, make sure to type in 3 adjectives in the table that describes your jack-o'-lantern. I can't wait to see your finished products. Your jack-o'-lanterns are going to look amazing and will show me exactly what you learned about adjectives today. If you're not in my class, you can also show your teacher or your parents at home and show them how much you know about adjectives. Thanks so much for joining me today at the Pumpkin Patch as we learned about adjectives together. If you liked today's video, don't forget to click the like button down below and hit subscribe so you don't miss a single video. We'll see you again real soon. Bye!